Lyra Vivian Monteverde is a young woman whose vocabulary lacks the word love. She is an independent woman shaped by her painful past. Her father was a womanizer, and her mother left with another man. She was raised and supported by her grandmother, who made sure she finished her education. Her motto in life is, no boyfriend, no problem, which made her a proud NBSB, no boyfriend since birth. Many have tried to win Lyra's heart, but the wall she built is high and strong. Astral Seth Dominguez is a young CEO whose hobby is collecting girlfriends as if they were trophies. Astral was raised in a luxurious family, but lacked parental attention because they were busy with the family business. Nothing is impossible for Astral. Everything he desires must be his. Despite being a playboy, his intelligence and good looks as a skilled young CEO make many women swoon over him, even though they know he's a womanizer. Lyra just came back from her school to get her transcript of records when she bumped into their arrogant rich neighbor. Lyra, when will you answer me? Hey Liam. I'm not even allowing you to court me. What are you talking about? Lyra said, annoyed. But I'm courting you, Lyra, Liam said. And I didn't agree, Liam. So, could you just go home? Such a waste, you're beautiful. I'm rich, Lyra. Such a waste if you'll just end up with someone poor. I can be rich on my own without any help from other men, Liam, Lyra said, and turned her back on the arrogant man. When Lyra arrived home, her grandmother was talking to someone in the living room. Oh, Lyra dear, there's a suitor who climbed up here for you, her grandmother said as she greeted her. Grandma, please send him away. I've told you I have no intention of accepting any suitors. Lyra, don't be like that. Ricky even came from the next town just to see you. Lyra approached Ricky, who was sitting, and her grandmother followed. Ricky, look, I'm not allowing you to court me, okay? You're just wasting your time on me, so please go home. Lyra, I'm willing to wait. Can you give me a chance? Ricky pleaded. I'm sorry, but there's nothing to wait for, Lyra said and went straight to her room. Sorry, Ricky, for my granddaughter, her grandmother said. No problem, Grandma. She's lucky she's beautiful, Ricky said, then quickly covered his mouth, realizing what he said. Oh, so you're just after her looks? Out! Lyra's grandmother shouted, pushing Ricky out of the house. Lyra just shook her head as she heard it from her room. Lyra dear, are you ready for tomorrow? Yes, Grandma, your most beautiful granddaughter is ready, Lyra happily replied. You're my only granddaughter, her grandmother laughed. Grandma, I'm leaving already, can't you give in to me? Lyra said with a smile. Will your decision never change? Are you sure about this? Miguel, her childhood friend, asked. Yes, I'm sure. Just please take care of Grandma while I'm away, Lyra said to Miguel. Dear, I'm your grandmother, but I'm still strong, her grandmother said. Anyway, Grandma, I will always call Miguel when I'm out of work to check on you, okay? Don't bother Miguel anymore. Just come home sometimes, dear. Okay, Grandma. The next morning, Lyra's rented vehicle arrived to take her to Manila. I'm leaving, take care here, okay? Call me if you need anything, Lyra said, kissing her grandmother's forehead. Take care, dear, her grandmother said. No problem, Lyra, take care, Miguel added. It was noon when Lyra arrived in Manila. My goodness, it's so hot here, far from our province's climate, Lyra said as she unloaded her things from the vehicle. Ma'am, it's really hot here in the city. Even with air conditioning, you'll cry over the electricity bill, the driver joked. Please put my things on the side. I'll wait for my cousin, Lyra said. Okay, dear. Take care here in Manila. You're such a beautiful woman, the driver replied. Thank you for the ride, Lyra said as she sat on the steps leading to her cousin's apartment. She couldn't get in as it was still locked, and her cousin was stuck in traffic. Feeling bored and hungry, she decided to leave her bags and suitcase on the steps and texted her cousin that she would eat first. She took her wallet and phone and went to find a place to eat. Sister, 1 order of adobo and rice, please. Oh, are you new here? Yes, I just arrived from the province, Lyra replied. Oh, you're a provincial girl. You have a different beauty. Here's some free sinigang soup, the vendor said, handing Lyra a bowl of soup. Thank you, Lyra said as she ate, noticing many men staring at her. I hope you always eat here, dear. My customers increase when you're around, the vendor said happily. Lyra felt awkward with the many eyes looking at her, so she quickly left the eatery after eating. While she was walking away, she felt someone following her, making her stop. "Are you following me?" Lyra asked, turning to see a man who looked like a loafer. "Yes, isn't it obvious?" the man arrogantly replied. "Well, I'll tell you now, you won't gain anything from me, so leave me alone," Lyra said and continued walking. She thought the man had given up, but she was surprised when he roughly pulled her, feeling his tight grip on her arm. "Let go of me," Lyra shouted, struggling to break free. Meanwhile, Astral was on his bike, aimlessly driving around when he noticed a woman being dragged by a man into an alley. He saw that the woman was struggling, so he stopped his bike and followed them. "Where are they? There are so many twists and turns here," Astral muttered. "Help!" Astral heard a man shout, but he was puzzled as to why it was a man asking for help when it was a woman being dragged earlier. He quickly went to the scene, only to be amazed by what he saw: a woman with a pepper spray bottle in her mouth, partly covered by her hair, and a man bent over with his face red from the pepper spray. The man noticed Astral's presence and looked at him with bloodshot eyes. "Help me, sir, this woman is crazy," the man said, which made Lyra look at Astral. When their eyes met, it seemed like Astral's world stopped, while Lyra just looked blankly at him. "What are you looking at? Is he with you?" Lyra asked Astral. "Will you be my girl?" Astral asked out of nowhere, causing Lyra to frown. "No, I don't know him," Astral said, snapping back to reality, staring at Lyra and talking to himself. "Who is this woman? What is it about her that caught my interest, unlike the other women I've collected?" "Okay," Lyra said, releasing the man who was writhing in pain. She then started walking away. "Wait, what's your name?" Astral called after her. "I don't tell my name to strangers," Lyra said and left. When Lyra returned to the apartment, her belongings were no longer on the steps. "Lyra, it took you long enough. I brought your stuff inside," her cousin Mika said, coming out to throw the trash. "Sorry, Mika, there are a lot of crazy people here," Lyra replied. "Oh, cousin, did someone mess with you? Did you beat him up?" Mika laughed. "Well, his arm will heal eventually," Lyra said, and they both laughed. Both Lyra and Mika had studied self-defense, so Mika wasn't too worried about Lyra staying in her place, despite the many troublemakers in the area. "I've cleaned the other room, check if it's okay," Mika said. "Oh, don't worry, as long as there's a roof I'm good," Lyra said. "Alright, go rest. I know you're tired from the trip," Mika said, taking Lyra to her room. After setting up her things in the room, Lyra fell asleep from exhaustion. The next morning, Lyra left early, not even saying goodbye to her cousin due to her excitement. "Hello, good morning, ma'am. Do you have an appointment here?" the receptionist asked. Yes, I received an email last week. I was hired and will be working in the marketing department," Lyra said, showing the email on her phone. "Oh, nice to see you here, Miss Monteverde. You can now go to the 5th floor." Lyra was near the elevator when she noticed it was closing. She quickly ran, and when she couldn't reach it, she took off her sandal and used it to stop the door from closing. The only person in the elevator was shocked, covering his face, thinking the sandal would hit him. "What the heck is that?" the man said, removing his hand from his face when nothing hit him. He looked at the sandal blocking the elevator door. When Lyra entered and retrieved her sandal, putting it back on, Astral was even more surprised because the woman was the same one he encountered yesterday. "What is she doing here?" he wondered. "Sorry, is it you?" Lyra asked, surprised. "Yeah, it's me, your Destiny," Astral replied, smiling. "Destiny, my foot," Lyra said, pressing the 5th floor button. Lyra was very quiet and looked straight ahead, while Astral kept staring at her. Lyra could feel his gaze. "Could you stop staring at me?" she said, annoyed. "What? These are my eyes, I can look wherever I want," Astral replied. "I'll gouge your eyes out if you keep looking at me," Lyra snapped. "Try if you can," Astral teased. Lyra was about to approach him when the elevator lights went out. "Hey, are you okay? Don't panic," Astral said, trying to feel his way in the dark. "Shit," Astral shouted as Lyra hit his nose. "Don't touch me," Lyra said, just as the elevator lights came back on and the door opened. The employees were shocked to see Astral with a bloody nose. "Sir Astral, what happened to you?" An employee asked, quickly approaching him. Sir, Lyra said, surprised, as she looked at the employee who handed a handkerchief to Astral. Yes, miss. Who are you? The employee asked. I'm the new hire in the marketing department, Lyra said. Oh, so you are Miss Lyra Vivian Monteverde, the employee said. Yes, Lyra replied, stammering and looking down. Raise your head, you're not destined to bow down to others except me, Astral said, lifting Lyra's chin to make her look at him. Lyra's heart raced and she felt butterflies in her stomach. Sir, sorry for being rude earlier and yesterday, Lyra said to Astral. They were now alone in his office for her orientation and contract signing. It's okay as long as it's you, Astral said, smiling, causing Lyra to blush. Astral noticed her reaction and smiled even more. So your name is Lyra. Like the constellation of stars, no wonder you're hard to reach, Astral said. Sir, I thought this was an orientation and contract signing, Lyra said, trying to change the subject. You'll start working today, Astral said, pointing to the date on the contract. Lyra looked at it again. I see, Lyra said. So what should I do now? Just sit there and I'll watch you to recharge my energy, Astral said, pointing to the sofa in front of his desk. Sir, I didn't apply to be a display, Lyra said, visibly annoyed. Okay, just sit there. I'll have someone set up your station here, Astral said. Why here, sir? I'd rather be in the marketing department office. This office is for the CEO and his future wife, Astral added. Lyra was about to stand up when Astral held up the contract. Oops, where are you going? You still have work, Astral said, holding the contract. Lyra sighed and sat on the sofa. Astral took his phone and called his assistant. Hello, Michael. Please order 1 office table and a swivel chair. Why, boss? Did your table and chair break? Nope, my future wife will be stationed here, Astral said with a smile, looking at Lyra, who was glaring at him. Wow, are you serious this time, boss? Before, you never let anyone else into your office. I thought you had a thing for me, Michael teased. Shut up, Michael. Be quick because my future wife is waiting. Okay, boss. I'll see you. A few moments later, there was a knock on the office door. Boss, the table and chair for the lady boss are here, Michael said, laughing. He stopped laughing when he saw Lyra's angry glare. Hello, ma'am, Michael said, before letting the delivery men in to set up the table and chair. They arranged it as instructed by Astral, with Lyra's station facing him, and moved the sofa to the side. Goodbye, boss and lady boss, Michael teased before leaving. Before she could exit, Astral said, That box is for marketing. Here are the pending reports. You can start reviewing them. He placed a box of documents on Lyra's table. Okay, Lyra replied shortly. During lunch, everyone looked at Lyra and whispered as she left Astral's office. Wow, of all Sir Astral's women, she's the only one who's been inside his office. Right? How many girlfriends has Sir Astral had? He can have 5 in a week. Lyra overheard the employees, especially the women. Well, he really is a womanizer. No wonder he talks like that, Lyra muttered and headed to the cafeteria. Hi, Grandma. I just got home from work. How are you? Lyra greeted over the phone. I'm fine, dear. I'll call you if I need anything. Don't bother Michael next time, her grandmother replied. It's okay, Grandma, Lyra heard Michael say. How are you, dear? I hope you meet a man who will make you fall in love there. Oh, Grandma, I'm not thinking about that, especially with womanizers around. I don't know about you, child, her grandmother sighed. Let's not rush Lyra, Grandma, Michael added. Fine, her grandmother said, handing the phone to Michael. Sorry, Michael. My grandmother is really persistent. It's fine. Don't worry. All right, Michael. Thanks. Bye. Lyra hung up before Michael could reply. The next day, Astral was busy with multiple projects offered to his company, leaving him with almost no rest. During break time, he didn't notice Lyra leave. His attention shifted to Lyra's station, and he smiled absent-mindedly. Why do you look different? Kale asked Astral. What are you doing here? I heard you have a new girl in the cafeteria. Is that your new employee? Someone sent photos in our group chat, Kale said, seemingly planning some mischief. Astral quickly checked his phone. She's mine, Astral said firmly. He immediately messaged the group chat to delete Lyra's photos. You have so many girls. Can't you leave one for us? Kale asked. Then go get all the girls except her. I've locked onto my target, Kale, so back off, Astral said, annoyed. Wait, don't tell me you've been hit by Cupid's arrow, Kale laughed. So what if I have? Astral replied, glaring at Kale. Okay, fine, Kale said, messaging the group chat. Guys, better back off and delete those photos, or Astral might erase us from existence. They quickly deleted Lyra's photos and went offline. So, want to join me at the bar later? The gang's going there. There are many new girls, Kale invited, testing Astral, suspecting his friend had truly fallen hard. Sorry, Kale. I need to guard my future, Astral said, standing up. Wait, what? I'm going to the cafeteria to see Lyra, Astral said, leaving Kale stunned. It seemed his friend was serious this time, no jokes. Meanwhile, Lyra was eating when a man sat across from her. Hi, Mississippi. Are you new here? The man asked. Yes, I just started yesterday, Lyra replied, feeling uncomfortable. Sorry if I'm making you uncomfortable. By the way, I'm Luke. The man introduced himself. Lyra, she replied, shaking his hand. And I'm Astral, Astral said, shaking Luke's hand instead of Lyra's. Hi, sir, Luke said, puzzled. Yeah, hello. Who are you? Which department? Astral asked, tightening his grip on Luke's hand. Sir, I have something to do, Luke said, hurriedly leaving, struggling to free his hand. Astral sat next to Lyra, who seemed indifferent. Hey, won't you invite me? Astral asked, moving closer to her. Oh, here, sir, would you like a plate? Lyra pushed her empty plate towards him. You know, Lyra, you're so interesting, Astral said bluntly, moving even closer. Lyra, nervous, started coughing from drinking water too quickly. Do you know, sir, that I'm not interested in you? So, could you please stop bothering me? You're not a pest to disturb my healthy living, right? Lyra said seriously, her heart pounding. Wow, pest? So your healthy living means no boyfriend, no problems, no love? But are you happy? Astral teased. I am happy. Unlike you, who finds happiness in womanizing, sir, Lyra retorted. Wow, just wow. Do you dislike me, Astral? Lyra said, making Astral smile even more. You're treating me this way because you know I like you, Astral said. I'm leaving, sir, before I lose my respect for you, Lyra said, standing up. See you in the office later. Astral winked at Lyra, completely captivated by her. Despite many new women in the company vying for his attention, Lyra had fully captured his interest. Astral thought that if he were to enter a serious relationship, it would be with Lyra, no one else. Lyra sighed, realizing they were still in the same office. Throughout her shift, she struggled to focus, feeling Astral's gaze constantly. Whenever she looked back, he pretended to be busy. Lyra found it amusing, seeing her boss act like a child who couldn't take his eyes off his toy. She thought Astral was indeed a womanizer, likely wanting to add her to his collection as a point of pride. If that happened, he'd be the first man to win Lyra's heart. Beep, beep, beep. The sound of a vehicle outside woke Lyra. Who's picking me up? The only person I know here is Mika, unless Grandma wants me to return to the province, Lyra said, opening her door. She didn't see Mika, who was making coffee in the living room. Good morning, Mika, Lyra greeted, rubbing her eyes as she walked towards the living room. She yawned widely before fully opening her eyes, only to see Astral in front of her. Oh my, what a smell, Astral said, smirking. Mika, why did you let him in? Lyra asked, frustrated. He said he's your boyfriend. Well, cousin, you're faster than fast food. You found a man right away and he's yummy, Mika teased, sipping her coffee. He's not my boyfriend, Mika, Lyra said, annoyed. Then can I have him if you don't want him? Mika said, giggling. Sorry, but I'm exclusively for Lyra, Astral said. Lyra, come on, be excited. Mika pretended to faint dramatically. Leave me alone, Lyra said, frustrated. Lyra returned to her room, feeling embarrassed and touching her cheeks that were burning with shame. She immediately looked in the mirror to see if there was any drool on her face. How embarrassing, Lyra, to breathe on your boss right after waking up, she thought, kicking the drawer in frustration, causing a loud bang that could be heard outside. I know you're excited, but Astral is still here. Show some decorum, please, Mika laughed from outside. The table dipper fell. Lyra made an excuse. Yuck. That's gross, Mika teased, and Lyra heard Astral laughing outside. Lyra's embarrassment was compounded by her cousin's teasing. She quickly showered, put on a white flowy dress that fell below her knees, brushed her hair, and used a thin hair clip to keep her bangs out of her face. After getting ready, she went to the living room, hoping Astral had left, but she found him in the kitchen battling with the splattering oil while her cousin sat at the table, waiting for Astral to finish cooking. It's done, Astral said nervously, sweating as he placed the burnt egg on the table. Lyra couldn't help but laugh out loud, leaving Astral stunned. It was the first time he had made Lyra laugh. Despite the embarrassment of why Lyra was laughing, Astral smiled secretly, his heart leaping with joy at seeing her genuine and bright smile. Mika, let's eat, Lyra said, still laughing. Mika, clueless, happily took the plate with the burnt egg. What the? Astral, is this coal or egg? Mika asked, bursting into laughter. I'm sorry, I might have overcooked it a bit, Astral admitted. A bit? It's completely black, Lyra said, still laughing. Be grateful. This is the first time I've cooked for anyone, Lyra, Astral said, scratching his head. You won't win me over with that, Astral. I know you're a womanizer, Lyra said, moving to take over the cooking. Astral fell silent, pouting as he watched Lyra cook. He couldn't help but imagine waking up every morning to find Lyra in the kitchen, cooking breakfast while he hugged her from behind. His daydream was interrupted by Mika waving in front of him. Hey, you might melt my cousin with your stare, Mika teased. No, my heart is what's melting for her, Astral replied, laughing. Lyra looked over at Astral and Mika, wondering why they were laughing. After serving the meal, Lyra sat next to Astral. Wow, cousin, you're replacing me already? There's no seat next to you, Mika, Astral said. Even if I have to eat eggs every day, it's fine as long as Lyra cooks, Astral said, eating heartily. Did you come here to pick up Lyra or just to eat? Mika asked. Both, Astral replied, continuing to eat. Weeks passed, and Astral consistently picked up Lyra and had breakfast at her place every morning. Among all the men who tried to court Lyra, Astral was the only one who never gave up, even when she pushed him away multiple times. He even stopped going to bars or clubs with his friends and ignored the women who constantly vied for his attention. When they arrived at the office, everyone was surprised to see Lyra and Astral enter together. The employees whispered in every corner they passed. It seems Sir Astral hasn't learned his lesson with other women. Is he serious about Miss Lyra? I don't know, but look, they're together again. Once a womanizer, always a womanizer. Wait until the new trainee arrives. If she's pretty, Sir Astral will have a new target, and Lyra will end up crying in a corner. Lyra's chest tightened at the last comment. She wondered why Astral affected her so much after only a few weeks since they met. The thought of Astral being interested in another woman felt like a needle piercing her heart. Is there something wrong? Astral asked when they entered the office, noticing Lyra's unusual silence. Are you really a womanizer? Lyra suddenly asked, shocking Astral. He was silent for a moment before speaking. Yes, but that was before I met you, Astral said, looking Lyra in the eyes. So it's true you've had many women? Did you? Have you been intimate with them? Lyra asked hesitantly, almost unable to finish her question. Astral held her shoulders to face her properly, feeling the tension between them. Lyra felt embarrassed and couldn't look Astral in the eye. She was surprised when Astral placed his palms on her cheeks, his eyes full of concern. Lyra, I know my past is dirty as I am, but believe me, I have reasons, Astral said before Lyra could pull away. He kissed her gently, and the tender touch of his lips gave Lyra a unique feeling. However, doubt still lingered in her mind. Is this how Astral treated all his past relationships? She wondered. Is this how he treated them? Lyra stepped back and slightly pushed Astral away. That's my first kiss, Lyra, Astral said, his heart leaping with joy. I'm also surprised, Astral. That was my first kiss too, Lyra said, touching her lips. Well, we're the same then, Astral laughed, and Lyra playfully hit his arm. But how? You've had many women, Lyra asked, full of confusion. Lyra, all the girls they say I've been with, it's not true. Yes, I hung out with many girls before, but I never touched them and I never let them touch me. They gave themselves the title of my trophies and collections. They decided that, not me. But I found it useful to annoy my parents and get their attention since they were so busy, so I let people think of me that way. But still, my parents didn't care as long as I ran the company well, Astral said, his shoulders sagging slightly. So all of that was just to get your parents' attention? Lyra asked. Lyra nodded, and at that moment, Astral seemed to be the one feeling shy. I'm a fool, Lyra. I've hurt many women and used them, but I can't give up the thought of wanting you. Am I being selfish? Astral asked, sadness evident in his eyes. On the other hand, Lyra felt relieved. So not everything about Astral was true. He had reasons. Maybe he was wrong to hurt women to get his parents' attention, but as he said, those women wanted it, and he just let it happen because he found it useful. Astral, look at me. You are not dirty nor selfish. I know you didn't want things to happen this way, Lyra said. I regret it, Lyra, because now that I've found the person I truly want, it's you. But you know, it's hard for people to believe me now, Astral said, smiling sadly. This was the first time Lyra saw this side of Astral. The cheerful and playful Astral she knew seemed to disappear, replaced by a serious one. I believe in you, Astral, Lyra said, surprising herself. Astral suddenly hugged her tightly. They both stood still for a moment before Astral hugged her even tighter. So, are we together now? Astral asked, and Lyra pulled away slightly. Court me first, Lyra said, unable to hide her smile. You're allowing me to court you? For real? Astral asked, looking into Lyra's eyes. Don't you want to? Lyra asked, raising an eyebrow. Yes, yes. Lyra Vivian Monteverde is letting me court her. Yes. Astral shouted in his office. Keep it down. It's not like I said yes to being your girlfriend yet. Lyra laughed, covering Astral's mouth. I'll make sure you say yes, Lyra. I won't let you go to anyone else, Astral said, smiling. If their smiles could melt, they would have melted long ago. Their hearts were racing, and the high wall Lyra had built was slowly crumbling because of Astral Seth Dominguez. Hello, Grandma. Oh dear, what is it? I told you I'd call if I needed anything. I just wanted to say I'm happy, Lyra said, feeling shy. I'm happy for you too, Lyra, her grandmother said, her voice full of joy. Hi, sir. May I come in? A new trainee asked from the open door of Astral's office. Lyra frowned, remembering what she heard from an employee. Was this the beautiful trainee they said Astral would replace her with? Lyra wondered as she watched the pretty trainee waiting for Astral's response. I don't let people into my office. Didn't I orient you? Astral asked, raising an eyebrow. Sir, why do you let her in but not me? The trainee said flirtatiously. Are you Lyra? Astral asked sarcastically. Lyra smiled slightly and raised an eyebrow at the trainee as if to say, I'm the only one. So how do I give you my documents, sir? The trainee asked, annoyed. Lyra, please get the files from her, Astral said, and Lyra immediately complied. Sure, Lyra said, smiling teasingly. Astral noticed and wondered if he had a chance with Lyra, but he didn't want to get his hopes up too much. Sir, just let me in, the trainee insisted, determined. You're not allowed to enter my office, Astral said coldly. Give her the files now, or I'll never let you step foot in my company again. Fine, the trainee said, handing the files to Lyra before storming off. Lyra's doubts about Astral disappeared. He was slowly proving himself to her, giving her assurance and reducing her doubts about love. Astral was like a thread stitching the wounds left by Lyra's parents. She was starting to believe in the happiness that love could bring. Lyra, get up. It looks like you don't have a ride today, Mika said, knocking on the door. I'll be out in a bit. I need to shower, Lyra replied, grabbing her phone from the bedside table. She saw a notification from Astral. Hi, future wife. Good morning. I'm sad I can't pick you up today. I need to meet a client, but I let someone else pick you up. Take care, wifey. Astral's message read. Even though he couldn't pick her up, Lyra felt his care. Lyra showered, singing in the bathroom. When she came out, she smelled delicious food. It was impossible that Mika cooked something tasty because her cousin was lazy, Lyra thought. Lyra, Astral sent breakfast for you through his driver, Mika said happily. Hi Lyra. I didn't want to do this, but Astral would kill me if I didn't. I'm Kale, Astral's friend, not his driver, Kale said, turning to Mika, who was surprised. I knew it. With your looks and scent, you can't be a driver, Mika said, laughing awkwardly. Hi Kale. Sorry about Astral, Lyra said, feeling shy. It's okay. I saw your beautiful cousin, Kale said, winking at Mika. Hey Kale, I know you're a womanizer, but stay away from my cousin, Lyra warned. People change just like Astral, Kale said. Astral is different, Lyra defended. Kale is different too, Mika said, giggling. Whatever. Let's eat, Lyra said. Lyra arrived at the company early, but it seemed other employees were even earlier. Lyra, I'll go now. I need to pick up your cousin, Kale said with a mischievous smile. Try anything funny with my cousin and you'll regret it, Lyra warned. Don't worry. Astral is my idol, so I'll straighten up too. Make sure of it, Lyra said, heading into the building. She stopped for a moment. Thanks for the ride, she said, continuing to walk. As she walked down the hallway, she noticed everyone staring at her. She wondered why, since Astral wasn't with her to cause gossip. Wow, Sir Astral has really changed. Have you seen the announcement board? He really marked Miss Lyra, she overheard employees saying. Lyra stopped, curious. What's on the announcement board? She asked herself, hurrying to check it despite the stares she received. Miss Lyra, are you and Sir Astral official now? An employee asked, staring at the bulletin board. Huh, I know. He's still courting me, Lyra admitted shyly. Wow, that's so romantic. You really tamed Sir Astral. Look at this, the employee said, pointing at the bulletin board. Lyra's attention was caught by her photo. It was a stolen photo of her working in Astral's office. She didn't know whether to feel flattered or embarrassed. The caption on her photo read, "Back off. Don't you dare stare or touch my future wifey while I'm on a business trip. This is an order from your handsome CEO, Astral Seth Dominguez." Lyra immediately took out her phone and typed, "What's this new stunt, Astral? It's embarrassing. The whole company is staring and talking about me." She texted him. A few moments later, her phone rang while she was inside her office. "Hello." Lyra answered without checking who it was. "Hi, future wifey." Astral greeted cheerfully. "Don't get ahead of yourself. I haven't answered you yet," Lyra said, though her heart overflowed with joy every time she heard Astral call her wifey. "Like you said, not yet, but we're heading there," Astral laughed. "Whatever. Get back to work. I'm busy here with all the paperwork you left behind," Lyra replied. "Sorry, I'll come back soon." "Don't worry, I miss you, wifey," Astral said. "Bye," Lyra said, hanging up the phone. "I miss you too already, Astral," she whispered, smiling. "I don't recognize myself anymore. I thought I wouldn't feel this kind of love again after what happened in my past," Lyra said, looking at Astral's swivel chair. She walked over and sat in it, eventually falling asleep without noticing. When she woke up, she jumped up in surprise. "Oh no, what time is it?" She looked at the clock and realized it was already afternoon. She hadn't eaten lunch. Shocked, Lyra turned to see someone watching her. "Astral, why are you here already? I thought your business trip was supposed to be a week long," Lyra exclaimed. "I told you I missed you," Astral said, moving to hug her. "Wait." Lyra stopped him, making Astral pout. "Really? When the boss is away you sleep?" Astral teased. "No, I didn't mean to fall asleep," Lyra defended herself. "In my chair, no less." "Miss me, wifey?" Astral asked with a wide smile. Lyra blushed, realizing where she had fallen asleep. "In your dreams," she said, standing up to leave. But Astral grabbed her waist and pulled her close for a hug. "Can we just stay like this?" Astral asked while hugging Lyra. "I'm so tired," he added. "Go to the sofa if you're tired," Lyra said, struggling to stay still, her whole body panicking at the proximity of Astral. She was nervous just thinking about being close to Astral, and now she was doubly so as he hugged her. She didn't know if she could fight her feelings anymore. They stood there for a while, Astral hugging her with his head on her shoulder and eyes closed. Lyra could feel his every breath. Astral, rest on the sofa, Lyra said again. You are my rest, Lyra, Astral whispered, sending electric currents through Lyra's body. Unable to control herself, she hugged him back tightly, not wanting to let go. Then rest, Lyra said. Later Mika joined them. Astral, when is your next business trip so I can see Kale? Mika asked. What? Don't tell me Kale is hitting on you. That playboy, Astral said, shaking his head. No, he's changing for me, Mika replied. Changing or fooling? He's at the club now, and it's still early. He's already womanizing, Astral said. Lyra and Mika were both shocked. That jerk. Give me the address and I'll go confront them, Mika said. Astral immediately gave her the address. I'll go with you, Mika, Lyra said. No, let them handle their issues on their own. Astral stopped Lyra. Mika left in a huff, and Lyra was surprised when Astral suddenly laughed. What's funny? Lyra asked, frowning. Don't worry. Actually, Kale is planning to surprise Mika with a date. He told me to bring her there, but I didn't want to leave you, so yeah. For sure, they'll both be surprised. Astral laughed. You're crazy. Poor Kale, Mika will scold him, Lyra said, laughing as well. Before Lyra could say more, her phone rang. Hello, Miguel. What's up? Lyra answered. Who's that? Astral asked, signaling Lyra to continue talking. I'm good. Oh, it's Grandma. She has a bit of a fever. When are you planning to visit us again? Miguel said. Grandma is sick? I'm coming there right now, Lyra said, cutting off Miguel. Who's that? Astral asked. My childhood friend, Miguel. He's the one I always call to talk to Grandma. Why him? Astral asked. Grandma doesn't have a phone and doesn't know how to use one, Lyra explained. Can I take a leave today? Grandma is sick. Of course, but can I drive you? Astral offered. It's far to the province, Lyra said. It's okay as long as it's you, Astral said. The drive was long, so they stopped at a mall. Astral left Lyra in the car and returned with many paper bags. Pasalubong gifts for Grandma, Astral said. You didn't have to trouble yourself, Lyra replied. I insist, Astral said, starting the car again. A few minutes later, they arrived at Lyra's hometown. Grandma, I'm here, Lyra said happily, entering their house. What are you doing here, dear? Don't you have work? Her grandmother asked. Miguel mentioned you were sick. Of course I'd come visit you. Won't your boss get mad? Her grandmother asked. I won't get mad, Astral said, entering the house. You even brought him here, dear. I'm sorry for the trouble, Grandma said. It's fine, Grandma, Astral said, approaching and giving her a kiss on the cheek. Grandma's eyes lit up. Grandma, here's your medicine, Miguel said as he entered, smiling broadly when he saw Lyra. He moved to hug her, but Astral quickly stepped in. Who are you? Miguel asked, locking eyes with Astral. Miguel, he's my boss, Astral. And Astral, this is Miguel, my childhood friend. Lyra introduced them. Boss? Why are you on a first-name basis? Miguel asked, confused. Because I'm courting her, Astral said. That's impossible. Lyra doesn't let anyone court her, Miguel laughed. Ask her, Astral said, turning to Lyra. Yeah, he's courting me with my permission, Lyra said, causing Miguel's shoulders to sag. Grandma, who had a fever, seemed to recover instantly, jumping with joy and clapping. Is this true, dear? Grandma asked. Grandma, I just agreed to let him court me. I haven't said yes yet, Lyra said shyly. What about me? Will you let me court you? Miguel asked, surprising Lyra and Grandma. Astral, maybe we should leave them alone, Grandma said, pulling Astral away, leaving Lyra and Miguel in the living room. Miguel, you know I only see you as a friend, Lyra said gently. I've liked you for a long time, Lyra. I even love you. If I confessed before your boss did, would I have a chance? Miguel asked. I don't know, Lyra said softly. Can you just give me a chance? You two aren't official yet, right? Miguel pleaded. I'm sorry, Miguel. Please forgive me, Lyra said, looking at Miguel, her eyes showing sincerity. Do you already like him? Miguel asked bitterly. I don't just like him, Miguel. I love him, Lyra said, which shattered Miguel's heart. Okay, I'm happy for you, Lyra. At last, you've learned to love even if it's not me, Miguel said with a sad smile before saying goodbye to Lyra. Lyra then looked for Astral and her grandmother. She found them in the kitchen, where Astral was giving her grandmother medicine. Lyra's heart was touched as she watched her grandmother happily chatting with Astral. She also noticed Astral taking a paper bag out of his bag. Grandma, here's a phone for you. Now Lyra won't need to call Miguel to check on you. I don't know how to use that, Lyra's grandmother said, shaking her head. Don't worry, Grandma, I'll teach you. Just don't call Miguel, Astral said playfully. Astral and Lyra's grandmother turned when they heard Lyra laugh. Where's Miguel? Her grandmother asked. He just needs some space, Lyra said, looking at Astral. Have you made your choice, dear? Yes, Grandma, Lyra answered, smiling. Her grandmother nodded at her. Have you chosen whom? Astral asked, confused. Nothing, Lyra replied. So we're staying with Grandma for a week. Is that okay with you? Of course, Astral responded happily. Days passed happily in the province. Astral really did everything to teach Lyra's grandmother how to use a cell phone. She learned and was almost impossible to talk to when using it. Astral, do you think your friends would like some pasalubong? Lyra asked Astral. Don't mind them, Lyra. Just buy for your friends, Astral replied. You're so mean to your friends, Astral. Go buy some for them, Lyra insisted. Okay, fine, Astral said and went shopping for gifts. They separated and agreed to meet at the car. On her way back, Lyra saw the arrogant Liam, who once tried to court her and belittled her abilities as a woman. He was with a model-like woman posing for photos with Astral's car. Meanwhile, Liam was taking the photos. Tired of carrying her bags, Lyra placed them on a motorcycle. The woman noticed her and hurriedly approached, with Liam following. He was surprised when he recognized her. Oh, Lyra. Long time no see. Did Manila spit you out and you came back here? Liam asked. If anyone spit out, it's you, Liam. You're so sour, Lyra replied. You think you're someone important, but you have nothing compared to me, Liam boasted. Can you step away from my boyfriend's motorcycle? It might get dirty, the woman said haughtily. Lyra placed her bags more firmly on the motorcycle and smiled at them. So your boyfriend is the man I rejected, Lyra said, laughing. The woman fumed while Liam laughed. You rejected me, but I think I don't deserve trash like you. Let's go, Mia. Take more pictures, Liam said. Lyra hit Liam's motorcycle with her bags, startling him and Mia, who was sitting in Astral's car. Hey, what right do you have to put your trash on my boyfriend's motorcycle? Mia asked. And what kind of trash are you? You're sitting on my car, Astral said angrily as he approached, seeing Mia yelling at Lyra. Oh, sorry, bro. Just taking some pictures, Liam said, embarrassed. Liam pulled Lyra away from the motorcycle, almost dragging her. Ouch! Lyra exclaimed, which angered Astral even more. He quickly approached Mia, pulled her off his car, nearly knocking her over. What the hell, bro? Liam reacted. Get lost, Astral shouted angrily before pulling Lyra into his car. Liam and Mia were stunned as they watched Lyra get into a fancy car. She got into a luxury car, Liam said, embarrassed, as people who had been watching laughed at them. They're so full of themselves, one of the onlookers said, not escaping Liam's hearing. Embarrassed, they left. Are you okay? Astral asked while driving. I'm fine. You were angrier than I was, Lyra replied. Of course. How dare they bully my future wife? Future wife, huh? Just drive, Lyra laughed. Astral, can you get me some papaya? I'm going to cook delicious native chicken tinola for you and Grandma, Lyra said. Grandma is born with a golden spoon. She probably can't climb a papaya tree, Astral said proudly. Well then, go with him to pick some papaya from the backyard, Grandma instructed. Lyra took Astral there. Are you sure you can climb that? Lyra asked, worried. Of course. How can I reach for the stars if I can't even pick papaya? Astral said seriously. You're so corny. Climb already, Lyra laughed. Lyra held back her laughter as Astral struggled to climb, but he was determined. I got it, Astral said happily, but their laughter disappeared when he fell from the tree. Ouch, that hurts, Astral complained. Why didn't you get down first? Where does it hurt? Lyra asked, concerned. My lips need a kiss to heal, Astral said, still pouting. You're on your own, Lyra said, taking the papaya with a smile. She didn't realize how wonderful it felt to love and be loved. That night, Lyra looked at the stars from the window, happily watching them sparkle in the dark sky. Despite the cold night, thick clouds and noisy insects, Lyra felt the warmth of the moonlight penetrating her skin. Aren't you sleepy yet? Lyra turned to see where the voice came from. We're going back to Manila tomorrow. Do you want to ask anything before we go? Lyra asked Astral. Getting to know you slowly is enough for me. But if you want to tell me something, don't hesitate. My feelings for you won't change, Astral said lovingly. My parents are separated, Lyra began, and Astral silently stared at her. It's been a long time since they left me with my grandmother. My mother went with her lover and my father, well, he had different women. Since then I haven't believed in love, Lyra said, her voice full of sadness. I feel like everyone will just deceive me. So until now I can't show what I truly feel. I'm still full of fear, Astral, fear caused by my past, Lyra said, tears streaming down her face. Can you still like me even though my past is shattered? Aren't you afraid that I might be the one to deceive you? Lyra, I don't like you anymore, Astral said, surprising Lyra. I knew it, Lyra said, pretending to laugh. I don't like you because I love you already. It's not just like, I love you, Lyra, Astral said. Lyra stared at Astral, her heart racing. Astral hugged her and kissed her forehead. I can wait. If you can't answer now, I am willing to wait, Astral said. Thank you, Astral, Lyra said, hugging him back. Astral and Lyra returned to Manila early because Astral had to meet a client. While thinking, Lyra saw a folder from HR containing the list of employees' birthdays. When is Astral's birthday? Lyra wondered. She flipped through the folders until she found what she was looking for. Next week. I'll confess to Astral and answer him, Lyra said, smiling widely. Astral's birthday arrived, and Lyra was excited. She carried the cake she baked and happily went to Astral's office. When she opened the door, she saw Astral and an unknown woman close together. They were fully clothed, but the woman was leaning on Astral's chest. Lyra dropped the cake, her anger rising. She clenched her fists and approached them, slapping Astral hard, surprising him. You court me so persistently, but you have another woman? I knew it, you're a womanizer, Lyra shouted, slapping him again. Instead of getting angry, Astral smiled at Lyra, his happiness evident despite the slaps. Who are you? The woman asked Lyra haughtily. Shut up, Lyra and Astral said simultaneously. You're jealous, Lyra, Astral said. Instead of answering, Lyra turned to the woman who was about to hug Astral. Lyra pulled her hair and started a catfight. Whenever the woman tried to fight back, Astral held her arm to prevent her from hurting Lyra. It looked like they were ganging up on the woman. Stop, let go of me, the woman shouted, begging. Lyra let go when she calmed down. Both of you are crazy, the woman shouted angrily before walking out with her hair in disarray. What's so funny? Lyra asked Astral, who was staring at her like he won the lottery. I'm happy. You like me. You're jealous, Astral said. Womanizer, Lyra snapped, about to leave when Astral pulled her back. She's obsessed with me. She came from the States and was my classmate. I didn't know she would follow me to the Philippines. She's nothing. You can ask Michael, Astral explained. Michael, Astral's assistant, emerged from under the table. What are you doing there? Lyra asked, puzzled. Hiding. That woman is crazy about Sir Astral, Miss Lyra. But believe me, Boss repeatedly rejected her. Her hair got caught on Boss's coat button, so you misinterpreted it. She threatened to withdraw her investment from the company if Boss didn't entertain her. So he got mad, Michael explained. Lyra felt embarrassed, having slapped Astral 3 times. Just kiss me and I'll forget you slapped me, Astral said. Oh, so cheesy. I'm leaving, Boss, Michael said, exiting the room. Lyra pulled Astral's tie to kiss him. Astral was shocked but kissed her back. I love you, Astral. I love you, Lyra said, pulling away slightly before hugging him tightly again. I love you too, Lyra. So are we together now? Astral asked. Lyra nodded, and Astral happily lifted her and spun her around. Yes, she answered me. At the Dominguez residence, Astral introduced Lyra to his family. His mother, however, was not pleased. 5 million, leave my son, Astral's mother said as soon as they were left alone in the living room. Astral's father watched the tension between his wife and Lyra. 10 million, give me your son, Lyra replied, surprising them. Astral arrived just in time. What's going on? Astral asked, confused, but no one answered him. 15 million, leave my son, Astral's mother insisted. Astral realized what they were talking about. 20 million, let me have Astral, Lyra said. Where will you get 20 million? Astral whispered to Lyra. Nowhere. I know your mom is testing me, Lyra whispered back. All right, 20 million, Astral's mother said. 20 million, Lyra stammered. Just take my son for free, Astral's mother said, laughing. Our son knows how to choose. He takes after me, Astral's father said. Sorry, Lyra. We know we haven't given Astral enough attention. We want to ensure his happiness even though we're busy. Our efforts to grow the company are for his future and his future family, Astral's mother explained. Astral's resentment towards his parents vanished. He realized they cared about his future. Mom, Dad, Astral said, hugging his parents. I understand now. I'm sorry, Astral said, signaling Lyra to join them. Months and years passed, and Astral's company grew with Lyra's help. They happily faced the church with their loved ones. Although Lyra's biological parents weren't there, she found new parents in Astral's family. We can be your parents too, Astral's parents promised, touching Lyra's heart. Lyra's recognized family might not be complete, but she found people who completed her, especially her and Astral's children. She would never let them grow up in a broken family. She knew how hard it was and would protect their relationship. Mama, I love you, Lyra's child said in a cute voice. Oh yeah. Mama is really your favorite, huh? Kevin, say I love you to Papa, Astral said to their children. I love Mama too, Kevin, their eldest, replied. Lyra laughed at her husband, who looked like the sky and earth had fallen on him. I love you, Astral, Lyra said, smiling. Astral's face lit up, and he hugged their children. I love you more. I love you always, only you, Astral said, hugging Lyra. Their children joined the hug. Love is powerful. It's a brave emotion that can't be stopped. Trust and respect are part of a happy relationship, even if they grew up with different beliefs. Lyra's motto has changed. Before it was no boyfriend, no problem. No boyfriend, but happy. Now it's with love, true happiness. If you love, you'll be happy. Entering a relationship shouldn't be rushed, or it will end in separation. Astral and Lyra proved that love is achieved through waiting and is strengthened by time. Lyra is now signing off as NBSB. Astral, the womanizer, now vows loyalty. The end. Thank you so much to our avid listeners. I'd like to greet Mammal Bonin from Cortero, Cis Eris from Riyadh, Catrice Puig from Kuwait, Flora Tubal, Jacqueline Compuesto from the UK, and John Lendon Aquino. Thank you so much for listening to our story today. Until next time, here on your awaited Heartstrings stories.